Live. Excellent. Hello, everybody.
Cool.
How's everyone doing?
500 people on already. Sorry, that's the clock on my computer.
Yeah. There's Mr. Simon there, I see.
Not very professional, yeah, I know. Well, I'll tell you what, it's Trevor. He's let the side down again because he's late again for some reason.
Indeed.
Gotta get Trevor a new hamster. He's running out of power the whole time. Where are the pie?
Anthony.
Yeah.
Codi.
Can you see us?
Can he? Oh, okay.
I
think they can see us. Let us know if you could see us.
Yeah.
Douchebags late. Yeah.
He's always late.
Always late.
But he can't blame it. He can't blame it on me getting the time wrong this time because we actually got it all correct. So,
well, it was on the email like 15 minutes ago, wasn't he? So,
all right, Paul.
So, yeah, that'll be on.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, we decided to, Oh, here he is. Speak of the devil. Here he is.
Yeah.
He likes to make an entrance.
No.
Fuck off.
There he is.
Fucking drama queen.
Fuck off. I'm sitting here. I'm making a coffee so I can stay awake for you bastards instead of
Bastards.
Bastards.
Okay.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Listen, Simon, don't start.
Hey,
Mark, what's up?
The king is
Roger. What's up? That's not me, obviously.
That's Cody. Oh, it's Anthony.
Hey, Beast.
Mr.
All right, Sean.
Did you guys see what happened to Sean's fucking record that he got in the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, what a disaster.
That's Dylan. All right, mate.
Oh, Dylan's in here. Wonderful. All right.
Hails to Simon.
Shall we start this? No, not today. No piss so you bastards can see. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I watched that this morning. That was hilarious.
I commented on that one. Yeah, it was good. Very funny.
Funny.
He obviously suited it, didn't he? He suited the dog collar.
It is afternoon, Mark, but I'm fucking just... I wake up earlier than the rest of you. You guys all get to sleep in. I'm an old man. I'm up early.
That's cool.
All right, shall we start this wonderful madness?
Yeah. So yeah, this is basically going to be the pilot episode of Keep It Metal podcast, which I've had the idea for quite a while now, and it was actually a mate of mine, Kim, who helps me with my music projects. He actually suggested I should do something like this. So yeah, here it is. So I hope everyone enjoys this first episode, and if it goes well, then hopefully we'll do many more of these in the future. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to get through. So item one that we're going to talk about is something that I want. I feel like we can do for pretty much every episode. Start off with talk about some singles that we've all been enjoying recently. We all picked a recent single, and we've all listened to them, and basically, we're just going to talk about them. So, skills. So, where should we start? Should we start with? Let's start with Trevor's pick, In Flames.
Me?
Yeah.
You start with start with you. You just go in the circle.
All right, okay. We'll go this way. So we'll start. Oh, okay. So we'll go. Yeah. So me, Marty, Johnny, Cody, Trevor. We'll do that then. Okay. So I picked Overkill, the Surgeon that came out sort of mid-January. Yeah. I wasn't really sure what to expect with this track because I only listened to a lot of the earlier stuff, courtesy of Marty sending me them albums. And, I could not believe when how the track just sounded like a continuation of their 80s stuff. They kind of, I don't know. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I wasn't expecting it to sound so similar to their 80s stuff. Like it could have literally been on Horoscope or, Years of Decay. And I quite like that about the song. Bobby Blitz's vocals as well sound very similar to how they were back then as well. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good track. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to pick it.
Yeah, I disagree with you, to be fair.
No? You didn't like it?
No. The last thing I heard by him was this, which came out in 2010, which is Ironbound, yeah.
Yes.
It's a stonking album, really is good. And I said, I haven't bought anything, so I got the box set of the vinyl of all the original ones. And I saw them in '87 in Leeds at a festival that Megadeth headlined with Cro-Mags and a few other bands. Anyway, they were probably band of the night for me. Overkill, absolutely brilliant live. But for me, I thought his vocals were shit. The vocals, I don't know if the speakers on my telly weren't working well, but I thought the vocals were terrible, Josh. Honestly, mate, I just couldn't. That's why I listened to this today, lunchtime, just to make sure. I thought, well, now the vocals on here, they're stunning. Vocals on here, Bobby still sounds brilliant. But I thought the vocals on that video, unless there was something wrong with the one, but it was the official one I was looking at, and I listened to it twice, and I thought his voice sounded really strained. I know he's been doing it for a million years, and whatever, but I thought his voice sounded really bad. It sounded like I expect Ozzy to have sounded on the last album before they auto-tuned it. You know what I mean? It's like, that was me. The music was, as you say, the music sounded exactly like they did in the 80s and like on this, the music, but it wasn't anything special. That's right. It was standard US thrash. But I thought his voice was bad. I don't know what you other guys thought, but that was my take on it anyway.
Go on, Trev.
I second that. I didn't even get Bobby's patented Overkill vocal until halfway through the song. And if you listen to Overkill, you want to hear two things. You want to hear that completely weird vocal approach with Bobby. And even as weird as it is, I absolutely love it because it's quirky as hell. And Dee Dee Verney's clanky bass tone. The guitar riff can be almost anything. But you listen to Overkill for the bass and for the vocals, which, funny enough, are the two members that are only the longest standing members. Do I hate the song? No. Is it a good, is it going to be top single of the year? I absolutely doubt it. I'd give this about a 2.5 out of 5. It's up, Dan. And it's not because I don't like the song. It's just I'm expecting Overkill, and I got over nothing, I guess. I have to listen to the rest of the record in order to make a full-blown judgment on it, though.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Cool.
That's fair enough. I guess for me, I just wanted to just add, I guess for me, because I haven't really listened to too much of their later stuff, I've gone from Horoscope and the Years of Decay and Under the Influence to this single. So there's a lot in between there that I've missed out. So, maybe that's why I might have a slightly different opinion to you guys that have, listened to the majority of their albums.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I think maybe that might have something to do with it. But yeah. Anyone else got anything to add?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I mean, it's overkill. It's what I expected from them. Bobby sounds a bit older as they are. They're a legacy band at this stage. They're out donkeys. So it's not. It's just overkill. There's nothing new, nothing changed apart from the vocals. It's overkill. Like, you wouldn't expect that different from them. It's all right. It's not making me dying to buy the album, but I probably will because I have the rest. So, but yeah, it was decent enough track. Like, just wait and see what the next one's like off the album.
Exactly. The rest of the record could blow our socks off.
It's overkill. That could have jumped onto one of the other albums. That song, obviously with different vocals back then, but it's just overkill. Overkill do what they do and do it well. So
Nathan's got a point.
Yeah. Even I wasn't keen on the new Metallica.
Times better than new Metallica.
Can we talk about that after we've done our own singles? Can we talk about the Metallica one?
We could do, yeah.
We can if we want. Yeah.
Cody, do you want something? Overkill?
Yeah, I think I agree with you and Johnny. It just Overkill is a band that I never really got into. I listened to their early stuff. Didn't really do anything for me, and the single really, kind of kept it consistent. It was just, nothing really did it for me on that one.
That's fair enough.
But different strokes for different folks, so not putting it down, not saying it's terrible, but just not what I was into.
That's fair enough. Okay, so we'll move on to Marty's pick.
Yeah. Okay. My pick was Night Demon, Outsider. So this is the first track of Night Demon's new album. I think it's their fourth album. California new wave of traditional heavy metal band. Have all their other stuff. Will I start this show and shit? But anyway, I enjoyed this song. It's catchy as their other stuff. It's probably even a bit more catchy. It's kind of hard rock in places as well. But they're one of my favorite of the new wave of traditional heavy metal bands. There's a shit ton of them, all right. But you gotta sort of settle on a few of these kind of bands because every genre has got tons of bands. But I quite like this song. I thought it was catchy. The more I listen to it, the more catchier it's getting. There is another single of the album out. Haven't listened to it yet, and I don't intend to because the album's out in 2 weeks, and I don't like to listen to all the singles of albums when they come out. They're not really singles; they're video singles. So, do you know what I mean? So, same with Metallica. I know we're not talking about it now, but I've only listened to the first track, and I'm not listening to the other ones till the album comes out. So, I liked Outsider. I thought it was good. They're good, catchy, traditional heavy metal, 80s sounding heavy metal. And so anybody wanna beat shit out of it?
Yeah, please, mate. Can I just say the guitarist had a fucking great tash? That's all I want to say.
Yeah, very popular this porno tash lately, isn't it?
It's like what I'm trying to make, but it's a proper one. It's like he's like a proper man doing it, and like a little kid trying to make a tash out of it. But yeah, he's got a proper. When Lemmy had his big fuck off handlebar thing.
Yeah,
like yours appeared when his did. That was a bit worrying.
Yeah, musically, I liked it. As you say, it's just heavy metal, innit? Proper traditional heavy metal. It was fast. It was sing-along choruses. I thought it was very catchy as well. Got myself humming along to it afterwards. It was in my head, bit of an earworm. Yeah, it's good. It's good shit. I've not heard anything by him before, so pretty solid. Cool. I probably would check out the album. Next.
I'm right there with Johnny. I never heard of them before either. But it took me a few listens to really get into it. And then after that, just like he said, it's like an earworm. It was so catchy. I really enjoyed it after like 3 listens. It really kind of clicked for me.
Worth checking out.
Yeah, I gave it a couple spins there today, and I actually dug it myself. It's very much in that whole new album sort of thing. The first thing I actually ever heard of them was that first album you showed, Marty, by them. And actually it was Andy that Cloudy basically put it out on a video. Yeah. And I was like, man,
Cloudy put me onto them.
I'm like, I said, that looks good. So I checked it and I was like, oh, okay. There's a little bit of speed in there, but then it gets about halfway through and then it completely slows right down. and I was quite impressed by how they could slow down as well as they did with the transitions and transition back into the sort of the speedier stuff. So I dug it.
Yeah. So,
John.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
go
was miles away then. Yeah, again, like Cody and Johnny, I'd never really heard of them before. I wasn't really sure what to expect. And when I first played it, I really wasn't sure. But then I just listened to them all again, before setting the stream up, and I did like it a lot more. It did have its catchy moments. I thought the guitars that the guitarists play in the music video were blooming brilliant. I really like the look of their Gibson Flying V's that they had. They definitely look the part. And yeah, the song, it's kind of like that traditional metal sound, which I do enjoy, but it's like not my go-to thing. But I did enjoy it, and I think I probably would listen to a bit more when the album does come out. Is it out yet, or is it not out yet?
Out on the 17th of March.
Yeah,
over
okay.
here, anyhow.
Okay.
Here it is.
Yeah, no, that's
Paddy's Day.
awesome.
So
That's great.
Dylan wants to know what I was drinking. So there you go, buddy. Just looking in the chat, Dylan was asking what I was drinking, so it's a Estrella, mate. Sorry.
No, that's cool.
Check it out, Steve. Which one is it?
But yeah, I thought it was all right.
Good.
They are.
They're a good band. All their stuff is similar. They're a good band. That's what they do and do it well.
Getting the same sort of vibe and hype as Haunt.
Haunt, yeah.
Another band I've not heard of. Oddly, I know everybody goes on about them, but I've not heard anything by Haunt.
I got a few Haunt records recently. Jesus.
Yeah, you had a full collection in one go, mate.
Yeah. Fucking insane. Adrian. Crazy.
Ledge.
Okay.
Right.
Johnny's turn.
Johnny
Is it
Mac.
me?
Yeah.
Right, well, I have props.
Well, props. We like props.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible
Props.
album of the year.
So far,
Anyway.
anyhow.
So my choice is the Knuckleby by Hell Lipper. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of singles on YouTube, but this is one that obviously because I like to listen to stuff the first time when I get something in my hand and monk it on the turntable or CD or whatever, or tape down. But I couldn't wait. I've been really excited for this album for a while, and I picked up a vinyl copy of the first album, which name's gone through. It begins with a C, I'm sure. But I picked that one up, so I've been listening to Hell Lipper. So as soon as they brought out the what's it called, the visualizer lyric video.
Yep.
Yeah. So they brought one of them out, and I'd seen a couple of interviews because obviously James does fucking tons of interviews. He's doing everything all over the place, isn't he? He's not just doing music all the time. He's doing interviews and various other stuff, and he's done breakdowns of all the tracks and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure they tell you how to play everything on at one point. Yeah, well, they got one live, haven't they? So I'm hoping.
Yeah, they do.
They're playing a couple of months' time, so I'm off to see Hell Lipper finally. Yeah, so I had to go and have a look at it, and the single is just, you can't fault it. It's the first track off the album, kicks you straight in there. The guitar tone is just excellent. It's something about his guitar tone. He's really. I'm not a guitarist. And never have been, although I did, but that's another story. But it just gets an excellent tone on it, and when you consider he's doing the bass and and everything else on there, and programming stuff on there as well, it's just awesome. But yeah, it's fast, it's furious, It's the video seems to suit it. I like the bit with the horse with the like zombie thing on it comes out of like a marsh and that. It's just awesome. And as I said, I just had to watch it, and it's the sort of thing I watched it and then watched it again. So obviously, as soon as the album comes on, it's the first track, so you whack it on and you're instantly at home. And it just seems a perfect way to just get you into the album and to, you know, when you play it, you go, well, I love the first track anyway. So you're already in there. He's already got you in. So, but yeah, no, I'm just blew me away anyway. So I don't know what you other guys thought of it, but there we go. Cheers.
Anybody want to?
Yeah, I'll talk. So yeah, Hell Ripper. I remember listening to the previous album, The Fair the Poisons, after that come out, because James, Mr. Boulder, actually recommended it to me. You know, he said, check it out, it's awesome. I did check it out, and I don't know whether it was because that kind of style I wasn't listening to at the time. I wasn't into. I didn't really quite get it. So, you know, I was sort of like, it's all right, but, you know, it didn't really, you know, it didn't amaze me, let's say. And then, yeah, so when this new album come out, I was like, I'm not sure if I'll bother with it. But then when Johnny recommended the single, I thought I'll listen to the single, and I really, really enjoyed the single. I don't know whether it's just time, whether I'm listening to different stuff now back then. But yeah, I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I did the previous album. And I definitely would want to check out the whole album now and, you know, see if my vocals change. But yeah, I enjoyed the vocals.
Obviously, they're blackened vocals, aren't they? So.
Yeah, they got that blackened style. But I've been listening to a bit of black metal now, so I sort of I'm all right with the black metal.
Were you a little bit more enjoying it a bit more now that you've heard a bit of black metal and that, and because it's obviously not full on, it's more just it's a good place to get you into it.
Yeah,
like James' vocals.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like back when that album come out, I wasn't really listening to that much like death metal at the time. A little bit of deathcore, that was it. But yeah, since then I've obviously gotten into a lot more stuff since then, and yeah, I kind of understood it a bit more. But I absolutely love the thrashy riffs throughout. There's some really great standout riffs, and the guitar solo in the middle, sort of made the whole thing, come together for me. So yeah, I definitely would want to listen to that album and listen to Affair of the Poisons again, to be honest, because I might have changed my opinion on that as well now. So yeah, that's what. Anyone else?
Yeah, the thing about Hell Ripper is because everybody knows I'm not a black metal guy, never have been. There are bands I have listened to lately, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm not a hate kind of guy. Some things are really, really bad. It's like I just can't listen to it. But with Hell Ripper, it took me actually going back and listening to the entire discography on streaming, and I was like, okay, I get it now. It's all thrash riffs and all thrashy sort of style music, but it's the vocals that. And normally I can't handle the whole because it just does nothing for me. I'm like, what's the point of this? But when I listen to it, I'm really starting to like it a lot more in terms of what James is doing in Hell Ripper. The new single is probably one of the best things that I've heard from him, and I know that might say a lot because Affair of the Poisons was great, and the other 3 records were really good too. But I really liked it, actually.
Yeah, I think with he's changing his sound a little bit as well, because obviously the early stuff it was essentially Kill 'Em All, wasn't it? That's what a lot of his lifts were from. Yep. Very early Metallica. That's what I essentially heard. It was like, oh, I like this. This is like early Metallica, but with like black metal vocals. I like the mix, but he's changed quite a lot. I think he's getting a better musician as well. And obviously he practices all the time. You can tell. Black and Wolf, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about this the new record, from what I've heard, the production's better, but it's still not like it's almost like he's in an echo chamber when he does his vocals, which to me is like, okay, the production musically, like on the guitars and the bass and the drums, are better, but the vocals are still sort of like echoey, which I'm totally okay with. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, obviously as a black metal jet, I really appreciated Hell Ripper. Love the vocals. I love that speed metal kind of stuff, especially with those blackened vocals. So I haven't listened to the new album in its entirety. Obviously, I need to listen to or watch the video as well, because the video sounds cult. So I need to check that out. But yeah, I thought it was super sick. Really enjoyed it, and I need to probably pick up a copy of the vinyl and then watch the video and then go from there. But really enjoyed the first single. So shout out to Johnny Mac putting it on.
Good song. Yeah, I love this. I absolutely love the song. I love the album. The album's brilliant. It's the best album I've heard this year yet. I know there hasn't been many out, but for me, it's fantastic. Every song on it's brilliant. Favorite track on is the title track, but yeah, he's definitely progressed with his style a bit. There's a bit more in it than there was in Poisons or the other stuff as well. But I think he's just brilliant what he does. I know what you're saying, Josh, with the black vocals. I've always listened to a bit of black metal, but I've never really got into it that much. Now I bought a lot of stuff recently, a lot of Emperor. I bought the first 2 Dark Throne albums today. Now they're coming from a shop in Donegal close to me. And so I'm starting to slowly buy black metal stuff, because I do like black metal, obviously supporting the black metal band from my own hometown as well, Eternal. But yeah, I get it now. I have no problem listening to that kind of vocals. I mean, a few more listens and it's not going to sound harsh to anybody at all. You know what I mean? If you listen to it enough, I don't think so, because there's so much music in it. The guy is just a fucking genius. Like he's the hottest thing on the scene at the moment. Anyhow, definitely. People aren't talking about it for no reason. So yeah, awesome, love it. What he said, Dylan, smashed the granny out of it. Yeah, fucking awesome band. So yeah, love it. That's me. Happy this.
We're doing Codi now.
Yeah, so for my pick, I chose Conquer Beyond the Frenzied Fog by Lamp of Murmur. Make them big when they talk, Josh, so we can see if they're telling the truth. Yeah, Lamp of Murmur.
No problem.
Yeah, this is kind of a change of pace from typical Lamp of Murmur stuff, if anybody's familiar with it. Let's see. I see you, Big Josh, but not me.
Yeah.
Maybe I do it on my end? Oh, no. All right, I'll just keep talking.
Yeah, keep going.
So, it's definitely a change of pace from the typical Lamp of Murmur stuff. Obviously, the last album, they were doing that more gothic vein, Sisters of Mercy type stuff. But this album, it's looking like, is going to be total immortal worship. And as someone who worships at the altar of Abat, I am totally on board for that. So I thought it was sick. I loved it, as I love pretty much everything immortal. So the more immortal I can get in my life, the better. I love the single. He actually put out another one. But like Marty said, I'm not going to listen to the other one until the album comes out. I think it comes out the 26th of March, I want to say. Pre-orders for the LPs just dropped, I believe, this past weekend.
It's Friday, mate.
Friday. So
Friday, yeah, because I missed it. The vinyl had already gone in Europe, so I've had to order my mistakes.
That one I might have to get off Discogs, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Love Immortal. What did you guys think? Did you guys? I know most of you guys aren't black metal guys per se, besides Johnny Mac here, but let's hear your thoughts.
want me to go first then?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll start with the positive.
Got notes. All right, you want me to go?
The fucking bat book.
Right. It's 7 minutes long, dude, and it's awesome. Basically. What we got?
Is that a Holder shirt on too? Am
Yeah.
I seeing that? Oh, that's awesome.
Long sleeving, dude.
That's killer.
So it starts off straight in. It batters it, as you say. It's full on immortal. They've gone away from the sort of Sisters of Mercy sort of sound. Although to be fair, it's not the whole album, is it? It's more just a feeling to it, isn't it? It's more the keyboards. Oh my god!
There he is.
He's big.
And I think it's a little bit more like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like
What is that?
But yeah, no. What else have we got in that little book? Batman book. Yeah, new album's going to be absolutely wicked. Vocals as nice and low in the mix. Guitar tone again, he's absolutely brilliant. We got some slow bit, a little bit of acoustics in there. Slows down a bit. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. As I said, there's some nice chunky riffs in it, but obviously it blasts, which is what we want. Actually, the back button, if you press the button there, it flashes. Look at that.
Aha!
Oh,
That's
Lord.
That's pretty cool.
Technology, folks.
Wicked. So yeah, no, I loved it. It's as you say, it's gone. It's not a step backwards for them. It's more a different diagonal move.
Right.
Yeah, no, I really like the Codi. I'm looking for. I said I gutted I missed the European vinyl, so I had to order it from the States because they had a few left and the colours had gone. I've had to get it on black vinyl, but I needed it because, as you say, otherwise I would have had to get it off disco because it would have cost me an absolute fortune. So luckily I've got it in now. But as I said, Lampermome stuff, it's just I picked up them two. I showed that last black metal update, and I got them two vinyl from earlier on, sort of late last year, that they brought out, which are all the demo stuff, and it's just epic. It just sounds so cool on vinyl, but it's just hard to get hold of.
Yeah,
So,
it's also pricey. All that stuff on vinyl.
Yeah, it's not cheap, buddy. It's not cheap at all. Cheers. That's me done. I like it, by the way.
Yeah, I just throw my tuppence into it. Never heard the band before. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about when you said Lampermome. Jesus fucking wept.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely fucking love the track. Definitely going to be checking out the band. I can't compare it to anybody because I don't know enough to compare it, but I've listened to it about 6 times, and the more I listen to it, the more I like it. It's starting to get catchy now for some fucking strange reason, but yeah, really like it. Definitely going to be checking out the album. But yeah, good track. Probably my favorite of the bunch, nearly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Josh?
Cool. Yeah, I'll go next. I'm not going to
Lay
make
it on
my.
us, Josh.
Big
Lay
face,
it
big
on
face.
us.
I'll tell you what. I will be honest. I thought it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. You know what? Like, well, I'd never listened to the band. I'd never heard of the band. But yeah, I thought it was really good. There's some really cool riffs in there. The guitar solo in the middle, I thought was really good. There was a really cool segment, sort of about 3.5 minutes in, and I was trying to rack my brain on what it sounded like, but I couldn't quite think of it. But I thought it was really, really cool. It sort of like sounded very 90s to me. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the song. I thought it was really good, and yeah, I definitely would want to listen to some more. Well, because I've been listening to more black metal recently, and I don't know if anyone saw Mark Wandering Souls Q&A for his contest. I did actually ask him what would be his black metal starter kit. So for his answer, he gave me some really good suggestions. Some really good picks. So yeah, I've been getting into it more. So yeah, I really did enjoy it. And
what's your choice? What's your black metal album of choice at the moment, then, Josh? What are you really digging? Is it a band in particular, or an album in particular, or you? Well, say band. Your favorite black metal band.
I've been listening to a lot of Dark Funeral, mainly because I've seen him in just over a month's time, but with Cannibal Corpse. But yeah, I've listened to a couple of their newer albums, and there's a couple of tracks in particular that just really stood out and have got me really into the band. I've been listening to quite a lot of their stuff recently, just playing it on repeat. So I'd say that band. But also another band that I really want to get into is Marduk, because everyone said like how awesome they are. So yeah, definitely would want to listen to them at some point. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it, Cody. It was an awesome pick. Might be one of my. I think it might be my favorite out of all the picks, to be honest.
Cheers! Thank you all. Let's hear Trev. He's gonna shit on me.
Here we go.
Try to pick something that's not not 7 fucking minutes long. No. It's funny because when you mentioned the whole immortal thing, I'm like, now that I think back to it, I can smell the fucking abat on that track. Vocally, again, it's not my thing, but I will say for the record, and you can all quote me in this, and everybody, and Josh will clip the fuck out of this and post this short 8,000 times. I actually thought it was really fucking good.
Let's go.
It's not one of these, again, 7 minutes of fucking black metal. It's just like, please do something other than the fucking, the same shit. And then when there is a little bit of that weave in and out, I'm like, okay, cool, I can fucking handle this. Because I'm more of a Dark Throne guy. The fucking, the simple fucking D beat kind of drumming. Give me that, but the whole fucking, this, I don't mind blast beats. But there's moments where I'm like, okay, and you're still playing the same, you're still tremoling the same fucking chord, and it's like, guys, change it up just a hair, because this in here is already fucking, I have to listen to it. But again, I will say, again, for the record, and quote this fucking, I'll never put Corpse Paint on. Fuck that shit. I'm more like I'm more of a Necro Butcher guy. I like that guy. He's fucking weird. That track was really, really, really good. I was very impressed by it. I give that a solid 3.5, 4 out of 5. It was really good. I was very impressed by it. Now, when did you say the record's out? The end of the month?
26th, I believe.
Oh, just shoot me a message on Instagram to remind me, and I'll probably check the rest of it out.
Okay. Yeah, it should be on Spotify, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because the singles are on there, so.
This one's worth a listen. Submission and Slavery. It's the last one they got out.
Okay.
But it's look at him there. Weird.
Goes by M. That's all that's known about him.
As I said, this is the last one with the Sisters of Mercy looking cover on it. It's a bit gothy at times, but not full on. I gave it another blast again today because it's one of my favourite albums by him.
Yeah.
And it changes. There's lots of different. It's not just the same shit all the way through again. Like all the early stuff was very raw and it was full on, as Cody will probably agree. That the earlier stuff is very raw black metal and it's blasting all the time. But this one, he mixes it up. He's got some female vocals on it as well. It slows down. He's got some keys, bit of acoustic in that. It's yeah.
Painted screamers.
That'll be your dad, Cody. You need to have a word with him. But yeah, no, that one's quite worth a listen to if you want to check it out. It's on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. It's called Submission and Slavery. It's only 4 or 5 tracks, not long, but it's really good.
Awesome.
Emperor for me, I think they're a little too harsh. Emperor. What do you guys think?
What? Okay, now you're just confusing the fuck out of me.
The comment.
Vocally or
Oh
musically?
well, yeah, no, I saw that. I don't know, man. I anything that I've seen like Ison do, I don't really have an issue with it. I mean, yeah, he's probably far harsher vocally, but
Yeah, it's the vocals to me that when I first heard those vocals when I was starting to get into black metal, I had to turn it off. I was like, this is like insane. Like, this is insanity. I can't listen to this. It took me a while to get into that. And
it makes sense.
yeah, those vocals to me just scared me a lot when I was getting into the black metal. There were a couple bands that really scared me when I first got into metal. Behemoth were one of them. Blow Your Trumpets, Gabriel. That song really, like, when I heard that, I was like, holy shit. Like, I don't know if I should be listening to this. You know what I mean?
Now, what do you call Behemoth? Do you call them a black metal band or do you call them a black and death band?
Shit band is what I call them nowadays. But I like their older black metal stuff. But now I think they're more of like a death metal, kind of a little bit of Black and Fringe in there, but not a big fan of Behemoth, unfortunately.
I seen them live last year, and I don't hear any fucking death metal. It was very fucking obscure. The performance was just really obscure. It was kind of atmospheric black metal, and a bit all over the place. But death metal, I didn't hear any.
Yeah.
When I saw them live, I heard a lot of hey. Yeah, they do this a lot. Hey. It's like, okay.
Oh no.
Like, hey. All right.
The whole fucking gig, man, was hey.
The black and
our arch enemy with the hey. Like fucking
the black metal version of Metallica. Oh no.
Motley Crue was
shit, man. Oh my.
Yeah, okay. I have the Old Forest. Yeah, I'm aware of the Old Forest. Yeah, I do like the B word too as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, Watain I can handle. Watain.
Never heard. Don't know them.
They're actually pretty decent. And yes, Dan, I did listen to Dissection. They're not bad. And now everybody's gonna want to listen to me waffle on about fucking In Flames. I'm gonna make it short. I already did a review on the album. This is out of the whole record. Now that I've listened to it probably about 50 times, because I have to make sure that I'm not just gonna kiss their ass because it's In Flames. Meet Your Maker is by far the best track off that record. They have some good moments on all the other songs. But I'm going to say that even though I love the track, I really have a fucking problem with this overproduced bullshit fucking clean vocals. Anders can sing cleanly. And with the certain transitions, like from the first verse into this sort of pre-chorus thing and then into the chorus, it's good, but it's too over fucking produced. They've got to stop that. And I just think they should just fire fucking Howard Benson. Like, I don't get it. I'm definitely gonna still give it a 3 out of 5. Hi, bud. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
I'll be up in a little bit.
Hello.
Say hi. I'll be up in a little bit, bud. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely the strongest track on the album. I think with a lot of the chunks, the chunky riffing and basically everything still sounds good musically. Chris Broderick really helped that album and that song, especially with the leads. But yeah, if I could tell that band one thing, just stop with the overproduced fucking clean vocals. Other than that, I still think it's the best track on the record, and I still give it a 3 out of 5. Now the rest of you can roast me because I know you just want to. Yes, I'm blaming Howard. Dan, stop it.
Okay.
Anyone
want to do it? I don't mind. I'll go first. I'll tell you what. Because I do like metalcore stuff. Some of it was a little bit kind of metalcore-y, which I did enjoy. But I've got to agree with Trevor. The clean vocals kind of ruined it for me. If the clean vocals hadn't have been done in that way. I probably would have liked it a hell of a lot more. But you know, I got sent that album from Marty last year. You know, that In Flames album, Battles, and I really didn't enjoy it, mainly for the vocals and for the production. You know, it sounded a bit too modern for me. But this song, I think, is better than all that album. You know, I did like this song more than that whole album.
I agree.
So that's a plus. Chris Broderick on it as well. I didn't know Chris Broderick was in the band, to be honest. You know, I love Chris Broderick. I think he's an awesome guitar player. And yeah, he rips a nice solo, so that's always good. But yeah, the only down point for me was the clean vocals. You know, if that wasn't there, then I think I'd like it a lot more, which is a shame, but yeah, it's what it is.
Okay.
All right,
next? I'll take it. I'm next. Wasn't for me. Didn't like it. I remember when they came out first with Soil Work and all that sort of Gothenburg scene. Wasn't a big fan, Trev. I just don't like it. It reminded me of like Kill Switch and Gage and maybe Linkin Park in the middle fucking each other like or something. It was just if that's the best song on the album, I'm happy enough with that one song that I've heard the album. I would never buy it in a million years. But it's just not my cup of tea. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. If you like it, you like it, but it's not my style. I just find it very boring. 2 tracks like that, and I'd be bored. Some nice riffs, but Jesus, it's very fucking. It's not for me, mate.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah, no, that's why we're doing this. Yeah, not for me. Johnny Mac's time to go.
Oh fuck!
Right.
Fire in, son.
I got a confession to make. I've never heard In Flames before.
Oh.
Okay.
I have my flops. I like that Tranquility, and I like At the Gates.
I love that record.
For some reason, I just never picked up anything by In Flames, and I don't know why. So I was going into this not knowing what they sound like previously and expecting some melodic death metal, mellow death. And all I could hear, especially when that chorus kicked in, I thought, this sounds like Early Bullet for My Valentine. That is honestly what I thought.
Yeah.
I was almost singing, Hearts Go Into Flame or whatever it is. And that's all I could think of. And as soon as that was it, I wasn't even listening to the rest of the song. I was thinking, this sounds like Bullet for My Valentine. Well, yeah, they're the Welsh band. Cracking. So, yeah. I kind of, because I didn't know what to expect. That's the first thing I've heard of them. Perhaps I should go back and I know a lot of people like Mark G with a C and quite a few others have raved on about the early stuff, like the first 2 or 3 albums, and I believe those are very good. So maybe I should go back to them and have a listen to them. But will that make this sound even worse? I don't know. So
probably because if you listen to the first 3-4 records at least, it's probably the best that they put out in the last 20 years.
Right. Okay.
But anything, if you're one of those guys that's like mellow death, once you get to this point of like Clayman and Come Clarity, that's when it starts to sort of soften up and become a lot more modern and radio friendly per se. But yeah, it's the first, I'm going to say up to about, at least up to Clayman. I think you will probably dig. Outside of that, maybe not so much.
See, I didn't think it was horrible, to be honest, because if I got a couple of the Bullet for My Valentine albums, the early ones, because they're Welsh, and I have to buy everything by Welsh bands because it's the law when you're Welsh, because there's not many of them.
Yep.
But so I don't mind them. I saw them live at Leeds Festival a while ago, and they put on a good show. But it's not what I was expecting. So as I said, it was like not. It wasn't the melodic death metal I expected. There wasn't a lot of death metal in there, as it's as I said. And as soon as the chorus came in with the cleans, it was like, what's this?
Yeah.
I just because I'd not, perhaps as you said, if I'd heard maybe the last album, I probably would have gone, well, yeah, this is a step up. It's a better album, whatever. But because I don't know any of them at all, I just went in at probably the wrong place. So that was my take on it, Trev. Anyway, I said I didn't hate it. It's just not what I expected at all. So, go on, Cody.
Oh, that's fair.
What do you think, mate?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of agree with Johnny here. I hadn't really heard or listened to much In Flames, so I don't quite know what I was expecting when I went to listen to it. Maybe for some sort of death metal. I think In Flames kind of reminds me of Hell or something like that. So, yeah, I listened to it for a bit, and then it got to the clean vocals, and I was like, okay, this is not for me. So, I mean, I don't want to bash In Flames. I'm sure they have good stuff earlier, but it just wasn't for me.
No, understandable.
Yeah.
I get it. And, trust me, I hear people saying far worse than you guys. Holy shit. So, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Just whatever you guys do, don't go listen to Eye the Mask. Don't listen to that record. Fucking bad.
Just Anthony saying there, melodic and death metal shouldn't be used in the same sentence. It's totally fucking true, man. That tag, melodic death metal, the likes of Arch Enemy, In Flames, there's no fucking death metal in their music at all. Where is the death metal thing coming out of? If you think death metal, you think Obituary, fucking Massacre, you think fucking Death. You don't think fucking Arch Enemy. That's ridiculous to even call it death metal.
So what you're looking at with that is it is the fact that there is sort of death metal style riffs. It does definitely pound like it. Black Dahlia Murder is probably the only band that really can lay claim to, and especially this day and age, can say that it's basically fucking with Iron Maiden lead melodic lines. Because they're from Sweden, they have to have ABBA in there, right? It's not Dismember. That's for fucking sure. So yeah, I mean, again, it was the only thing that just popped into my head. I could have said one of the new Obituary tracks, but I figured maybe one of you guys might have picked it. But
yeah, wasn't bad.
Oh, Heartwork is that makes sense. Heartwork from Carcass is what you could call what Dan said. That's what you could call
it. The new Metallica.
Yeah.
We talk about the new Metallica single, the third one.
I mean, we can.
That's 7 minutes long as well.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard it, to be honest.
Dude, don't bother.
Yeah, no.
It's for me, I think it's the worst out of the three.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But there's moments where I'm like, okay, that's cool. We've heard you say Temptation about 12,000 times. But someone harkened it back is if anybody watched the Some Kind of Monster documentary, basically there's a song that they had called Temptation, and I think what they did was they changed it and reworked it into this new one. I don't hate it. It's better than Screaming Suicide, but again, I mean, it's good. That's about it.
It seemed like a fella to me. It seemed like an album track that you put near the middle or to the end when you're running out of songs. For me, for Metallica, so I quite like Hard Like Self-Destruct. I thought that was a good album. Too many songs on it. They could have trimmed that down, but the good songs on there were really good.
Yeah, I mean, James does sound good, that's for sure. But outside of that, I mean, I'm still waiting for the rest of the record.
But you could hear the bass. You can hear the bass at least.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, yeah. I mean, I know like Marty's a big Metallica fan as well, but I mean, I'm like some of my YouTube stuff, I'm known for being a pretty big Metallica fan, and even I didn't really think that much to it, to be honest, when I heard it. The best way I described it was kind of like they made a hybrid song of Unjustice for All with some Reload in there and kind of put it together to make this song. And yeah, for me, it's just too long, too repetitive. There is some good bits in there, but it's just, yeah, I just didn't really think much of it when I heard it, you know. And the guitar solo, it's like, I don't know how you can play a good and bloody shit solo at the same time. It's like, how is that possible? I was thinking like parts of it's like, oh, that's really good. And then he plays something shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't know. I just don't know how Kirk like recorded that solo and thought, yeah, that's good enough. I think Kirk can do better than that. I think he really could, to be honest. So
it was almost like a jam session or doing some practice or demo or something. They just carried on and on as if they didn't know how to finish it. It's like, we haven't got a full song here. We'll carry on and do a bit more, and then they go, oh, let's shout a bit at the end, and that'll be it. But yeah, it's just too much. It's just by the end, by about 5.5, 6 minutes, I was very bored.
Haven't heard it. Like I said, I want to hear the album when it comes out. I don't want to be pissed off with the album before it comes out. So
yeah,
I'm a fan. I'm going to buy it. And yeah, I don't like it when it comes out. When I buy it, fuck it, I have it bought for my collection. But I don't want to ruin it before. But you've just ruined it, Anya. So fuck it. You know, I enjoyed the first single. I don't even know what it was called. It was okay. It was very
Lux Eterna.
Very liked Hardwired album. And it was good.
That was good. Yeah. I did enjoy the first two singles, to be fair. You know, the first one, like Turner, I think that's the best song because it's, you know, it's got really good energy. You know, even the guitar solo is actually pretty good in the song. You know, that's one thing I'd say about Screaming Suicide. It's a cool song, but again, the guitar solo is just, you know, a bit half-assed. Really, could have done better than that, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
Shot it since '89.
So why don't we talk about our fantasy band? That, you know, the brilliant idea that Cody had that gave me a fucking 10 strokes in about 10 minutes.
10 strokes in 10 minutes, huh?
Well, just try to fucking make sure you pick the right guys, and it's like, oh, shit.
Gotcha,
So thanks for that, Cody.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Cody?
Should we start by
sure what was meant.
Should we start by doing like vocalist and then everybody say their vocalist and guitarist and all that and kind of
Yeah.
What do you think, Josh? You like that idea?
Well, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Well, I'm guessing that we've all gone vocals, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, bass, drums.
What about keyboards?
I mean,
I've got a keyboard player.
I put keyboards in as well. I got 6 because I couldn't work out whether you wanted keyboardist or the guitarist. I've done both. But
okay, that's fair enough. Well, if you've got a keyboardist, then you can have that. Like when we go rhythm guitarist, then you can say keyboardist. I guess we could do that.
Mm-hmm. I got mine written down, so I'm trying to find a spot for it. Go ahead.
All right. So so we go. Yeah, me, Marty, Johnny. Again,
same sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So I'll start. My vocalist. Basically, with all my picks, I wanted to go with like different people from different bands, but sort of in a similar kind of thing. My vocalist, I've gone with Marcos Squader from Death Angel because I just absolutely love his vocals. You know, there's something about his voice that I just really like. I mean, a lot of people will know that I'm not massively into vocals, but when a vocalist hits me, I'm like, yes, I like that guy's vocals. You know, I like that person's vocals, and Marcus Squader is one of them for me. You know, he kind of reminds me of like a thrash metal Robert Plant. That's what I've always got, and I've liked Robert Plant because I like Led Zeppelin a bit. So you know, that's why I've gone with Marcus Gueda, because he's got such an awesome, powerful voice, and he can pretty much do anything, really. I mean, apart from like guttural vocals, but I mean, he's a really good front man. When I went to see Death Angel, he was fantastic. So yeah, that's my pick.
Cool. Is it me?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. I made a list, and I made a list of a couple of vocalists, couple of guitarists, and all that. So, for old school, I have Joey Belladonna and John Bush down. But for a band that I'm currently listening to a lot, my favorite vocalist at the moment this is a butcher job of a name. It's Tommy Utzon. He's the lead vocalist with Amorphous.
Okay, yep.
Now, he's a fucking brilliant singer. He could put death metal vocalist to shame with his fucking gruff vocals, and then his clean vocals are just pristine as well. Savage band, savage vocalist. Absolutely amazing. There's not more I can say. I mean, he's been with Amorphous since about 2006, I think, the album Eclipse, and just that band has gone from strength to strength because his vocals, they're a fucking absolutely savage band. So I definitely have him in any fucking band, because he can do it all. He can do the rough stuff, the growls, roughly vocals, and cleans as well.
Yeah.
So he's great. So yeah, Tommy for me. Johnny Mac.
So I've got to confess, me and Marty didn't have a fucking clue what you meant by this. Sorry, Cody. We thought
all good.
Are you talking guys that are still alive? Are you talking the best ever? So I said to Marty, I said, do you know what I've done? I've sat down, I've done drums, bass, guitar, rhythm guitar, vocals, and fucking keyboards. I got about 3 or 4 from each, and I'm just going to say them. Yeah. So vocalist, as you're aware, I like me gothic stuff. So I like Pete Steele, obviously dead dude.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked his vocals. Now, if you're talking someone that's currently doing vocals, I'm a big fan of Nick Holmes from Paradise Lost, simply because he can do the two. He's got his death growls and he's got his cleans. Obviously, he on that last Bloodbath album, I think his death vocals were fucking awesome. I think that album is really cool. The Bloodbath album that came out last year, and obviously he did it with early Paradise Lost, so big fan of his. Mm-hmm. I'd also agree with Josh in that I'm a big fan of Robert Plant, but obviously he's not exactly metal, is he? But I love his vocals. And can I chuck a curveball in there? And I'm going to say it.
Yep.
Willie Taylor from Slipknot. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because he can do the two. He obviously with Stone Sour, he can do the cleans. He can actually sing properly. He can do heavy metal vocals. He obviously can't quite do death metal, but he does the Slipknotty thing. So he does all the screams and that. And to be fair, I have seen him live, and he can and he can do that. But I'll probably stick with Nick Holmes, to be honest, from Paradise Lost and Bloodbath, because he does the 2 lots, and you can slot him into whichever band you like. And that's me.
Good pick.
Fair enough. Great.
Good pick.
Cody next.
All right, so when I was thinking of the fantasy 5-piece band, essentially the way I'm going with it is kind of any genre or any alive or dead. But the way I'm going to construct mine is try to make a cohesive band. So I'm going to try and make like a kind of like a blackened, few death metal guys in there, but kind of keep it more blackened, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start off. This might be a curveball, but I'm going Tom Angel Ripper from Sodom.
Yeah.
I love his vocals. They're so evil. And it's a great band to get into if you're trying to get into black metal or even thrash metal, any type of metal, really. He just has that evil sort of sound to him. And I just love Sodom. I love that band. It's one of the bands that my dad got me into years back. So that band means a lot to me. So I'm going Tom Angel Ripper.
Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom.
Tom, good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I had this list planned out, and then I changed it about 15 fucking times. So I settled with Chuck Billy on vocals. Probably one of the best thrash vocalists out there, especially when he started off with like the sort of screamy type of vocal, and then he got lower, obviously on the record low, haha. And he's been pretty consistent over the last several records, but I do find that Testament lately has sort of been kind of samey, but I mean it could be worse. And I had Chris Reeford as a vocalist at one point too, but I had to change it. So, Chuck Billy.
That's great. That's fair enough. Right. Okay. So we'll move on to rhythm guitar. To be honest, I was thinking about Chuck Billy, but then I thought I don't want to have like members from the same band, because what would be the point in having a fantasy band when I've got basically members from the same band? So that's why I went with Marcos Gueda, because I wanted to go with Eric Peterson for my rhythm guitarist.
Yeah.
And pretty simple reason that his riffs are blooming awesome. You know, Testament have been so consistent, and Eric Peterson writes the majority of the songs, has done pretty much the whole of Testament's career, really. And then he even did that black metal project Dragon Lord, which I haven't listened to, but I would like to at some point. That's another black metal band for me. I wanted to go with Eric Peterson because behind older James Hetfield, he is the thrash metal riff master. So yeah,
Cool.
Marty, you're next up.
Probably a rhythm guitar player.
Yeah.
For me, I went for James McBain because he's the current riff master on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as he's just putting out some savage stuff. He's just fucking writing riffs in his sleep. That guy is fucking savage. Simple as the current scene, definitely James McBain. I also have had Essa Halopainen in from Amorphous as well, because I'm going for Amorphous again because I've listened to so much of them recently. But if you know the band, you'll know why I'm putting them in there. He's just savage, Josh. You'd love his guitar playing. He's amazing. He really is. He's class. So yeah, so we'll go for James McBain because John was going to say it.
No. Lately, I had Malcolm Young as one of them, and also I know just especially for Josh, I thought I'd put a bit of glam metal in. One of my favourite glam punk bands are Hanoi Rocks, and Nasty Suicide, the guitarist from Hanoi, is absolutely brilliant. Some of the riffs are spot on, and because they're more of a punky tinge as opposed to your hair metal shite, they're more punky. Yeah, Malcolm Young. So I would have gone for them.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm going to go Jeff Hanneman, if you guys are okay with that. Everybody was a bit of slack.
It's your pick, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Jeff.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a pretty cool mix. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, Cody.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go Iommi here. I want to kind of keep my band a little doomy at times, and then I want to go upbeat with my lead guitarist. But I'm going to go Iommi. Obviously, I don't need to say anything for that pick, but Riff Lord, one of the greats. So, yeah, Iommi is my rhythm guitarist.
See you, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Cheers, Steve.
Yeah, I originally had Rob Barrett picked for my rhythm guitar player, just because anything that Cannibal does with Rob is fantastic. I did have Malcolm Young, but I'm like, I know he can keep up to anybody. It's, he has no right to be that tight as he was. But I decided to go with Bill Steer from Carcass. Because fuck me if that guy doesn't have more riffs than most guys have fucking anything else in their entire bodies. Just an absolute fucking animal. Every riff he does is sheer perfection. Plus, he's got a great fucking growl, too. So yeah, I'm picking Bill Steer.
You can have dual vocals then, can't you, mate? You can have him do dual vocals in your band.
Exactly. Him and Chuck Billy would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right, Joshy, what are we doing next there, kid?
Cool. We could do lead guitar next, and also, if you've got your keyboards, I guess you could put your keyboards in as well.
Well,
and your lead guitar.
Put keyboards at the end. We'll put them at the end. So if you
At the
end, if you particularly want one, if you don't, doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, we'll leave that to the end then. Okay, so we'll do lead guitars next then. So yeah, this was pretty tricky for me because I could have gone with anybody, to be honest. You know, there's a lot of great lead guitarists. Mickey's just said a great one there, great shout. Paul Gilbert, he's amazing. Jeff Waters as well.
Right.
But I could have gone with Satriani because you'll know how much I love Satriani. He's just absolutely insane. But yeah, because I wanted to keep this more of like a thrash metal kind of style band, I went with Marty Friedman because he's got the credentials. He was in Megadeth. Also, time in Cacophony as well. But I also love his solo stuff as well. And Marty, he can play stuff that a lot of people can't. He's got a very distinct style, and I think him and Eric Peterson I think that would be a really great combination. I think they could make some really awesome stuff there. And yeah. Also, yeah, Skolnick. But yeah, I could have gone with Skolnick, but as I said before, I didn't want to pick just Testament for my fantasy band, so I wanted to pick somebody different. And yeah, I think Marty would do an awesome job.
I would.
Yeah, you would, Marty. Yeah.
When not playing with Super Suckers.
Yeah.
Fuck Little Wayne.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fuck him. Adrian Smith, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
Marty?
Mate,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Marty,
Yeah, I'm picking a tag team because I want a big fucking band. So I am picking Michael Amott and Jeff Loomis, two boys from Arch Enemy. Because to me, they're the extreme Iron Maiden. The twin guitar playing is crazy. When I seen them live last year, they're just back and forth to each other with fucking solos and little lead bits, and two amazing guitar players that have been around a long time and some great bands. So yeah, Jeff Loomis is fucking savage, as we know, and Michael Amott, he is Arch Enemy. They're too savage. The two of them together just go together so well. When you see them live, they're just absolutely amazing. I think he's just fantastic guitar player. So much melody for extreme metal, they really do a great job on it. So yeah, that's my picks. Amott and Loomis. And they're alive. That's the main thing.
Right. Well, my pick isn't alive, but I'm going to go Piggy from Voivod because fuck me, did he play and write some awesome riffs and all the time changes and all that sort of stuff. I still go back to them early Voivod stuff and think, where's he pulling all this from? It's just the guy was an absolute genius. So I'm picking Piggy from Voivod. I'm not picking anyone else. Job done. Thank you.
Short and sweet. Okay.
Cody.
Another heavy hitter. I'm going Trey Azagoth from Morbid Angel. We're going to speed it up a bit. Going to go crazy on some solos. Create some of the most fucking crazy riffs ever known. And get it going from there.
Now, that would be Trey pre-fucking Illud Divinum fucking anus, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I figured.
That's a blemish. It's a blemish.
Yeah, it is. I'm going with Gary Holt because that man's a fucking lunatic. I mean, Jesus, like just watch. He's a nutball just to follow on Instagram alone. But if I'm looking for a guy who has the ability to write riffs, and he's not an actual full-blown lead guitar player, but his soloing is really fucking good. It's Gary Holt, for Christ's sake. Him and Bill Steer in the same band writing riffs. Jesus Christ, that'd be amazing. Yeah. So
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
that's my lead pick.
Yeah. Awesome.
Next.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go with bass guitar next.
Okay.
Let's see. Yep.
Sounds about right.
Oh man. Yeah, okay. So bass guitar, there was only one guy who I could go with, and yeah, I had to go with the late Cliff Burton because he literally, I know if Steve was still watching, he'd give that the double because I know he loves Cliff Burton as well. But yeah, such an innovator on the bass guitar. Awesome songwriter as well. I'm not sure if he gets enough credit for them early Metallica albums, but especially Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. He wrote a lot for them. So yeah, Cliff for me would be my ultimate bass player in this band. He would bring so much more than just playing.
Cool. Good
So
pick.
yeah.
Good pick. Right, me for bass. This was a tough enough one. Like Steve Harris is probably my favorite bass player. Probably a lot of us are my favorite bass player because he's amazing. So I was just trying to pick current again, people that are alive and stuff. So I picked Leaf from Candlemass, founding member and mainstay of Candlemass, songwriter. He is Candlemass. So he's a great player, and the fact that he's a brilliant songwriter and has released so much stuff is just fantastic. I think he's a great bass player. Keeps the whole shit going. Great rhythm section in Candlemass. And yeah, down to Leaf. I also had Jeff Walker there just thrown in because you have to be a bit of carcass.
Yeah.
So Leaf, I'll put down Leaf. I'll keep this band European. So yeah, that's me.
Well,
Johnny Mac.
I've got to admit, my first choice was Cliff Burton. But since Josh has pinched it, bastard, one of my other choices. And I did see Cliff Burton live as well, back at Donington Park, 1985.
Yeah.
Whoa. So I got a couple of other choices. One is Billy Sheehan, weirdly. But I don't think he's quite metal enough. Although I did see him live with Dave Lee Roth's band, and he's very, very good live. But I'm going to go for bass player that was in a band called Blind Illusion and then moved on to Primus, Mr. Les Claypool. I've seen Primus many times live, and he's just a fucking genius. So, yeah, I'm going to go with him. So, yeah, that's Les Claypool, my choice for bass. Because he can do the fast stuff, and he can do the weird shit. So,
yeah,
there you go.
good choice.
Good pick.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with probably I'm trying to think. Probably the best bass player I've ever seen live, and that is from Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse. Absolute monster on the bass. There's so many times in Cannibal Corpse songs where that bass is so audible, and he has so many cool parts and so many interesting rhythms that he's doing. So I'm going with Alex Webster to hold down the rhythm section for my
Guys,
bass.
I need a pee. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Right on, Daddy. Yeah, that was going to be my second choice, Cody, because frantic disembowelment. Watching him play that in the fucking studio, I'm like, how the hell do you keep up to fucking Pat O'Brien? But I'm going with the fucking hippie himself, Steve DiGiorgio, because if that motherfucker can play in Death and Sadist and Testament and every other fucking band and write the bass or do the bass for Megadeth's new record, I mean, who comes up with a 3-string fretless bass? Steve does. And he's a hippie because he's got all. I mean, nothing against long hair, obviously, but the long hair and the fucking bandana. I'm like, are you out of the fucking 70s? Are you still there, homeboy? But yeah, yellow drink anyway. Yeah, DiGiorgio all the fucking way. That guy's a master. Him and Webster.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Drums.
Yeah, drummers. Right, okay. Again, I didn't want to go with anyone. I could easily have gone with Gene Hoglan because he is the atomic clock. He is just unbelievable. But in the end, I went with Alex Bent, who is in Trivium now, and quite funnily enough, he played drums on one of the Dragon Lord albums as well. I can't remember which one, but he did play drums on one of those albums. But yeah, Alex Bent, like if you've not listened to any of the later Trivium, like his drumming is just unbelievable. You know, he can do pretty much anything. And, you know, I've seen him play live and play in the studio, and he's literally doing all this technical drumming. I don't know how he does it with his two arms. I don't know how it's possible because he's doing stuff over here and doing stuff over here, and he's just doing it so nonchalant, you know, like he's not even breaking a sweat and doing all this really awesome technical, precise playing. Just fantastic. You know, some of the drum patterns that he does is really innovative as well. So, yeah, I'd go with Alex Bent. And if you don't believe me, listen to some of the newer Trivium work. And, yeah, there you go.
Cool.
That's my pick.
Kim has just mentioned my pick there. Well, my first pick was Mark Sonder from Fates Warning and my album of the year, A to Z, Hit through Z. So Mark Sonder, fucking amazing technician, man. He's just savage, and he's getting on in years, and he's still playing brilliantly as well. But the drummer I went for was Blast Fader, David Gray from Akokaki, the Antichrist Imperium, and Voices. You need to watch that guy live on YouTube playing. I still get blown away every time I see it. I can't understand how he can play so fast, and then he can play slow stuff as well, like avant-garde stuff in Voices and that. He's a fucking machine. He's unbelievable. Just you need to watch him. David Gray, Blast Fader, he's savage. So Antichrist Imperium, yes.
Oh, genius, hold on.
That's another great shout. Mario Duplantier, fantastic. Yeah.
Johnny?
Drummers, yeah?
Yep.
Here's one for Codi. I don't know if you're aware of the band. I had an album this week come through that I've been after for a while. Black metal. I'm not sure where they're from. I'm sure they're from somewhere like Austria or somewhere weird like that. Magua, you aware of them? MGLA, yeah?
Yeah, French. Or not French, Polish.
That's it,
Polish.
yeah. Have you heard that guy's drums? Hey, absolutely
Killer.
insane. But as I said, I've only had the album this week, so I don't even know the guy's name. Classic drummer who's dead now for me. I've seen him live a couple of times, and he's probably the best drummer that I've seen live. Is Cozy Powell. He was on the early Rainbow albums. I saw him live with Whitesnake in the 80s. I think he's been quite a few other people, but Cozy Powell was insane. They used to call him an octopus because you couldn't see him going, and he used to do full-on drum solos. Well, they had a theme. He did like 2000. That's it. Yeah, he did a theme was like a 2001 Space Odyssey, and had full lighting rig that was going, the flashing lights in time with the beats and all that. And said he was like he was just one hell of a drummer. But my choice is I'm going to have to go Dave Lombardo from Slayer. There's a lot of Slayer in here, but you know, as I said, the top band, so I'm going to go Dave. And he's obviously been in other bands. Who's he with now? Who's Dave with now?
Testament. Where? Testament.
Testament.
Yeah. So He's just a legendary drummer, and he can do it also. I've seen him live a few times, so yeah, I'm going to go Lombardo. Cody, you up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going with a Speedmaster here. I'm going with Frost, Satyricon, 1349. Did some stuff with Gorgoroth. I saw 1349. Unfortunately, Frost wasn't there, but potatoes falling down a stairwell. That's pretty good.
Oh.
But
Well done,
the
Tim.
replacement drummer was Nils Destroyer, I think. And yeah, 1349 Killer.
Mhm.
Saw them live here in Florida, probably pre-COVID, but the drumming that is required on those albums is absolutely insane. And then obviously the Satyricon stuff is fantastic. That's a little slower paced. Honestly, Satyricon would be a good entry-level band for black metal, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But obviously the stuff with Gorgoroth as well, another classic band. But yeah, killer stuff. I'm going with Frost as my drummer.
Okay. I'm going with Will Carroll from Death Angel. Extremely underrated fucking drummer, especially in thrash. But that guy, especially on the last couple of albums that he's been on with Death Angel, have been really, really fucking solid drum-wise, especially on Humanicide. He's one of my favorite thrash drummers. Yes, I do like Paul Bostaph. Dave Lombardo, I don't hate Dave, but I mean, that whole piss fest with fucking, yeah, he's going to be in a grind band. He's going to be touring with them. Yeah, I just wish he didn't get so fucking pissy and start yanging and complaining about money in the press. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with Will Carroll. That guy kicks ass. So yeah,
classic album.
That's great. Okay, so
Keyboardist.
Go. Oh yeah, keyboard. I forgot about that. I'm not sure. I don't think you can really get keyboards in thrash metal, so I think I'd have to pass on that one.
You can pass.
Yeah. Pass. No keyboards for me. Marty.
Old school. I was thinking of the Don Airy, John Lord era, Rainbow and Purple and that sort of stuff. But I've gone for Thomas Holopainen from Nightwish.
Yeah.
Fucking genius. Just musical genius. He could write shit for any band, and he's incredible. Absolutely incredible. He also plays in the black metal band. Darkness My Betrothed, is it? Do you know that band, Cody?
I'm not sure I know that band.
Black metal from Finland. John might know them. Just give me 1 second. It's called Darkness My Betrothed. Do you know them, John?
I don't know them.
I don't know either, mate. No.
Atmospheric black metal. I'll show you the record in a minute, anyway. I seen it on what do you call Mark's channel?
Wandering Souls.
I can't remember his channel.
Wandering Souls.
Yeah, Mark Wandering Souls. He showed it a few years ago, and I didn't realize Thomas from Nightwish was on it. And it's fucking rips, man. It's brilliant. Atmospheric black metal is really good. So yeah, Thomas Holopainen. Go for it, John. I find this album.
To be honest, I was John Lord and Don Airy as well from sort of Deep Purple and White's taking that. But I'm gonna chuck in Ishan, the Emperor, Need Us the Keyboards. So I'll take him, and then you've also got a vocalist as well. So that'll be my shout.
Roger, I'm going Mortis. Shout out Dungeon Synth.
That guy's really good.
Is he the dude with the big fucking nose?
Yeah, he's the goblin or the troll.
Yeah. They've got all the troll fucking makeup and there's pointy ears and shit. Yeah,
that's him.
None for me. And Kim, I think it was Kim that said Jordan Rudess. Fuck off with Dream Theater. Jesus Christ.
Jesus, yeah, absolutely brilliant. What about him? That's that album, Cody. Go on, sorry. Trevor, go on.
I mean, yeah, well, Geddy Lee's a different kind of genius. I like Jordan Rudess, but I fucking hate Dream Theater. Jesus Christ. But that's besides the point.
Cody,
Yeah, so
that's that album there. Darkness My Betrothed.
Oh, I've seen the
Okay.
cover.
Yeah.
Liam from Death Doom Metal had showed it, and I said it looks like the guys are going to play cricket. They look like they've got fucking cricket whites on. It's like,
Yeah.
It's,
And he's got his cricket bat.
that's it. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
it's fucking excellent, man. I tell you, it's excellent.
Nice.
It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I just remember the cricket.
If you're
cover,
into
but I
black
couldn't remember
metal.
what the fuck they were called.
But, yeah, that's that one. Sorry about that. Go on.
no worries. So we want to move on to the next
Yep.
topic.
Okay, yeah. So the next thing, this was one of Trevor's ideas. Basically, we're going to talk about the big four, and we're going to discuss whether the big four, is really necessary anymore. Basically, with the fact that Slayer retired and are not, well, technically not part of the big four anymore. So basically, let's have a discussion and see whether we think that the big four is really necessary anymore, and if that's the case, who we think should remake the big four. So anyone want to start on this? Yeah, Cody.
Yeah, I'll start. I think, of course, we should still care about the big four. It's one of those things, like if you're talking about sports, you're going to care about who are the biggest names in that whatever genre you're speaking about. So, of course, we're going to care about who the big four are in thrash metal, in death metal, in black metal, and things like that, because we want, this sort of validation of, yes, your opinion's correct, that this band is one of the best. So I think it's just one of those things that's good for discussion, kind of like what we're doing now. We're discussing these different things. What's the big four? We're literally about to have a discussion on it. So I think it's important, and I think that we should care about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See you, Dylan.
Let us
See you, Dylan.
Cheers. Yeah, I think that's fair.
That is a great point.
Yeah. Anyone else?
No.
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 John,
I don't
out.
think they're relevant anymore. They were relevant back then when thrash was coming out and it was a scene, and yeah, they were the biggest at the time. But yeah, everybody suddenly comes up and goes, well, yeah, shouldn't Testament have been it? So I don't think. And is thrash really that big these days? There's so many other genres and subgenres.
Mm-hmm.
Are there that many? Do you honestly look at the bands that are the top four and say they're still thrash? Metallica's still thrash?
No.
Slayer aren't going anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Anthrax kind of went up and down, didn't they? I guess they're still these days. That I saw them supporting Slayer on the final tour, and they were fucking awesome. Anthrax were very good live, and they still play thrash. But I wasn't a fan of the John Bush stuff, so I don't know. Is talking about a top four thrash? I don't know. I don't think it is these days for myself, because I think there's too many genres out there.
Mm-hmm.
Back when there wasn't the internet and all that sort of stuff, and you wanted to know what the big bands were. Now you can find any bands, and I don't think it's relevant for myself. I don't think that a thrash big four are relevant anymore. As I said, obviously Megadeth are the other one, and their actually the last album was good, but some of the others weren't. I must admit. I'm not a big fan of. I don't like his whiny voice, to be honest, but I quite like the last Megadeth album. So, but yeah, no, I don't think as a genre. I think there's too much out there, and why I said with the Death Doom, people still talk about the Peaceful Three, don't they? It's your Paradise Lost,
My Dying Bride.
My Dying Bride. Was it Anathema? The other one, maybe?
I think
The other one that was on Peaceful, or Anathema, or whatever you want to call them. Anathema, like call them. As I said, people still talk about that, but as a genre of Death Doom, it's. But they don't with others. Do people talk about a big fall in just Doom? And obviously you've got your black metal, but I don't know. I don't think so for myself. So that's my.
Okay.
Yeah. For me personally, like the Big Four is a generation thing. It was something that came out in the end of the 80s. I don't know when they started saying it first, but it's just like John said with the Peaceful Tree. You're talking old school history, like Black Sabbath originators of Doom, Metallica and them were the Big Four back in the 80s. They're not now. There's no need for it now. If you went to pick a Big Four in the thrash metal scene now, would any of those be still in it? Do you know what I mean? Should there have been other bands in it prior better than them? It's just the Metallica and Megadeth and Anthrax and Slayer were seen as the big guys then because they were the boys that were selling records. They were the most well distributed records. They were the Big Four then, like, you know. But should Exodus's first album is far better than any of the fucking shit that any of them bands released, and they weren't in the Big Four, if you know what I mean. So I just think it's a generation. I think it's just a generation thing, the Big Four. Like you can't keep those four bands in a Big Four now. That was back in the day. You know, it's silly having the trash Big Four when most of them aren't even playing trash, or most of them aren't even fucking playing.
Agreed.
So,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's an old school saying, like, you know, the Big Four. That's history. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Do anybody talk about the Big Four still, like, apart from us?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. I'll get to that.
You know. Yeah, the Big Four should be your four big fucking favorites, or people that you think should be in it.
We got another beer.
The fact the Testament were never in a Big Four, like, it's just a fucking joke for starters. But yeah, do you know what I mean? I just think it's an old school fucking thing, the Big Four, like, you know, like Metallica probably come out of that Big Four after the Black Album, before the Black Album, like, you know. So there you go. That's me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But you know what I mean?
Will I go next? Trev, if you want to go, because this is your thing as well. I'll go next. So, yeah, personally, I don't think that the Big Four is like that necessary anymore. Because, like, well, for a start, even though I do agree with what Codi said, because you have to kind of respect their bands, you know, for what they did. But nowadays, because there's so many other bands, you know, from around that time that are just as big as the majority of them now, like, you kind of have to, you know, and then they have like that big 8 as well, put in like Death Angel, Testament, Exodus, and Overkill in there as well. So you can't really leave any of them bands out anymore because they're all, you know, they're all pretty big. And to be fair, I actually remember I watched a video not that long ago. Can't remember the name of the channel who it was, but basically the guy went through all these like thrash bands, you know, and he said like how many sales have they got, and quite interestingly, some of the bands that were not in the Big Four actually had more sales than Anthrax, who are in the Big Four. I was thinking, well, how's that possible? You know, I guess it's because back in the day they were bigger than they are now, I guess. But so I was thinking that, like, if they were to remake the Big Four, would they do it based on album sales now? And I was kind of thinking that. I'm thinking maybe they might, especially the fact that Slayer are retired now. They can't really be in like the Big Four. Maybe the classic Big Four. You could just maybe we should just leave it as that. The classic Big Four bands were Anthrax, Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica. But then, like, you know, you could easily make like Big Fours in other genres. You know, like Big Four of American death metal, and, you know, the Big Four of UK thrash metal, and, You know, like what John said earlier, the big four of Death Doom as well. You know, we can kind of have like our big four of each, but not have a definitive big four. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Trevor, go for it.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll tap into this. I'll give my sort of thing on it, and then my phone's pretty much about to fucking die.
Okay.
So the whole thing about the big four for me is, yes, there's relevancy with it, like Cody said, because they are the 4 big bands. Because if someone says to me or says to you, maybe you look at it differently than I do. Someone's like, hey, well, what bands did you mention that are thrash bands that I can get into? Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. Do they play that now? No, not necessarily. Slayer's retired. Megadeth put out a semi-thrash record. Metallica hasn't played a fucking thrash record since the early days. And Anthrax, yeah, so like they really haven't done it proper. I mean, Roger has a pretty good point, but I wouldn't put Creator in there. And I really don't have much nice to say about fucking Millie anyways, because Millie thinks he's above fucking, the German big four himself. I would have Testament, Overkill, Exodus, and Death Angel. But I don't at the same time, because can their biggest records overtake the big records from the other bands? No. I think the big four essentially was generated by some fucking goonhead that was selling records. Call me kooky, call me wacky, but that's why the big four is still a thing. You still got to talk about them because someone's bound to ask you, well, if you're into thrash, what would you say if I want to get into them? That's where the relevancy comes from, because you still have to get, and because you don't want to just send them into fucking Sodom. I mean, I would, because I love Sodom, but some kids can be like, I don't know. Those vocals are scary. Well, okay, well then go listen to a Metallica or Megadeth record, and you might be okay. A Slayer thing. Not everybody's going to get into Tom Araya's voice and be happy with it. Us probably would, yes. But again, they're retired. Metallica hasn't wrote a thrash record in years. Anthrax doesn't play thrash anymore. And then Megadeth, well, the new one was good, but Dave's voice is shit, but he knows that himself. Can you make a big four of death metal? Absolutely. But are you talking old school death metal? Tech death, brutal death, slam, blah, blah, fucking blah. There are so many other genres, like Johnny Mac said. You can make big fours of all that as well. But in terms of relevancy now, I don't think the big thrash four is as relevant, but they're still relevant because of the fact that you can introduce people to them. But you can never essentially break up the big four because of the album sales. Because there's no fucking way that an Exodus record is going to be better than any of Metallica's big records, or are they more thrash? 1,000%. Is Testament more thrash? 1,000%. Is Death Angel more thrash? 1,000%. I would probably be more quicker to pull out Metallica and Anthrax and put one of the other two in there, probably Testament and Exodus. But that's kind of the thing about the big four. They're relevant, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's like a legacy kind of thing. I think Simon said it. Where is it? Here we go. It's a legacy label.
That's correct. That's correct.
I kind of agree with that. It's almost like the big four is like a legacy of what was.
They were the first. They were the first to do that stuff and get popular. The other bands were there,
mm-hmm.
but them 4 bands got fucking popular very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Sure, why not? So yeah,
luckily he's not here to see that.
But that's my thought process. Sorry guys, I got to duck. My phone is about to completely shit the bed here in about 5 minutes. And
okay, that's fair enough. Well, thanks for joining, man.
Of course. We'll see you guys in the next one, and yeah. See you guys.
Trev, before you go, let's hear your Bubbles impersonation.
Holy fuck, boys. I'm just looking for a couple of kitties in my fucking Sam Squares. That's really all I want. Holy fuck. I tried to get the kitty cat fucking food mountain earlier. Cocksucker wouldn't fucking eat it because all it kept doing is just pissing me off. Bird at my leg, trying to scratch at my balls. All this fucking shit.
Yes. That's Trailer Park Boys, if you haven't heard of that. It's a Canadian show.
Yeah. If you want to watch some of the goofiest, dumbest shit in the world, just go find, the Trailer Park Boys, and you'll just laugh your ass off. It's fantastic. Yeah. All right, boys. I'll fucking see you dirty dicks in the next fucking thing, all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Trev.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So, so we do have one final thing that we were going to talk about, and again, it was a Trevor's thing, but So basically, the item is talking about gigs, go to gigs and the costs associated with it. Depending on where you live and stuff like that. But firstly, has anyone got any gigs lined up? In the next month or so.
No, I was supposed to be at Zentrix tonight, but I stayed away for this.
Oh.
No, I'm only kidding. Zentrix were playing in Ireland tonight. All right, they played last night too in Limerick or in Dublin tonight. But I might be going to Emperor in 2 weeks' time. The 23rd of March, Emperor's playing in Ireland, and there's loads of gigs coming up in Ireland, but I've nothing really planned. But I know Cancer are coming to Ireland for their first ever gig on the 23rd of September. It was in Mark. I think it was Mark from Enchantment. Let me know yesterday, so we're definitely going to be going to that without a fucking shadow of a doubt. But there's loads of gigs happening, but I've nothing really arranged yet. Maybe Emperor in 2 weeks. That'll be probably the first one. So hopefully.
Nice. Awesome.
I got a stack. Wormlot, Glencoe band from Japan. Yeah, Wormlot. April, I've got Hellripper and Warbringer. Then in May, we've got Seven Sisters, Light City, and Eliminator. I've got Carcass and Unto Others. Which should be awesome. And then in August, I know it's a bit forward, but it's one that Codi should appreciate. Stormkeeper coming over to the UK. So it's a one-off gig in Manchester, supported by Winterfilleth, Saw, S-A-O-R, Swore, Ninkasag, Ard, and Cairns. So that should be cool. Bit of
when is that, John? When is that on?
That's me. You got any, Codi?
Yeah. So next weekend, I've got Joe Bonamassa. He's going to be in the town next to us, a blues guitarist. As far as metal goes, I've got a few that I might go to. Rotting Christ is going to be in town or in Tampa, I believe, on a Tuesday. So I don't know if I'll be able to attend that. But then I've got another legacy death band, not Left to Die, but there's another one that has Hoglin, and I think DeGiorgio on bass. And they're going to be touring with Suffocation, so that will be sometime this month, this weekend, or not this weekend, but over the weekend in the next few weeks. But other than that, I'm not quite sure of anything else going on. Not until later in the summer. Death to All, yes. Sorry. Cool. But yeah, that should be a good show. Death to All, Suffocation. And I think there's one more band that's playing, but should be a pretty righteous show.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Well, the only gig that I've got coming up is in sort of late April. And I kind of mentioned it before, the Cannibal Corpse, Dark Funeral, and they're playing with Ingested and Storm Ruler, which I've never listened to either of those. So more black metal. I think Storm Ruler are black metal and Ingested a sort of death metal-y. So yeah, that should be cool. But I'm mainly going for Cannibal Corpse because they're one of the bands I really want to see live. So yeah. But I did see back in January. I did see an Iron Maiden tribute band called Ion Maiden in Milton Keynes, and that was really good. So yeah, that was the most recent gig I've been to. So yeah, so let's get into this. So basically, yeah, what Trevor's idea was to talk about going to gigs and the costs associated with it. So I'll start with what I think Trev meant by this. Basically, for the most part, the biggest sort of local venues for me is London, because I'm from Bedford. It's about an hour and a half away drive. So yeah, for me it's the easiest place for me to go to see gigs. And of course you've got a lot of different kind of venues there. Obviously you've got the O2, which I've been to a couple of times. You've got Kentish Town, you've got Brixton, a lot of different like O2 Academy places, which is really good. And obviously the costs associated, for the most part, sometimes, I'm quite lucky because I get to go with my dad, and sometimes my dad's mate would drive. So that saves a little bit, because sometimes, if me and dad just go together, we get the train. Obviously, as well, another thing, ticket prices to see bigger bands, they're a bit more expensive than seeing slightly smaller bands, and also tribute bands as well. That Iron Maiden tribute band, I think that was about 11 quid to see them, and Milton Keynes is literally about 40-minute drive. So that was pretty cool, and they put on a really good show as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of what Trevor meant by this. So yeah, anyone want to kind of talk about how you go to gigs and the kind of the costs and stuff of seeing gigs?
For me, the biggest obstacle to going to gigs is finding someone to go to the gigs with. Now, I would not go. It's either Dublin or Belfast for me, which is probably 2 hours on a bus journey either way. But it's just getting someone to go to. There's no way I'd go up to Dublin on my own. I don't know these cities well, and I know it's in the right country and everything, but I don't know the cities well enough to go to these gigs on my own. So I'm always dependent on some of the metalheads in the town. That, like, I know two of the boys from Eternal Hell Cracks are going to Emperor, so I'm going to be tagging along with them, hopefully, to that. Usually go on the bus and then, or usually get a lift from one of the boys as well. So there's no really cost. I mean, you're only talking €25 to get a bus there and back, which is fuck all if you want to see a band. I know Emperor's tickets are €57. I don't know what that works out for you. Like, it could be about £45 sterling. Cody, you haven't a clue. But if you really want to see a band, I don't think €57 is a big issue. So yeah, that's my biggest obstacle. I'd go to a gig every second and third week easy if I had someone, there to go with. Do you know what I mean? So that's my biggest obstacle. I don't drive myself, so yeah, that's another one as well. But yeah, that's my obstacle for going to gigs is who to go with. I'm just afraid to go on my own.
Fair enough.
For me, I do go by myself to a few, but I've got a few mates that go into different types of music and stuff. So I've got one that'll go into we'll have to see Massive Wagons, and Metal Mickey's going to come down and go to the gig as well, which should be cool. But as I said, my mate Daz that will do that one. I just went to Hammerfest a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? When Unleashed played, which was really cool. I went with my mate Dave. He's the extreme guy. We're going to see Wormlot with him, and I'm going to do Helldipper with him as well. so I've got different mates that do different things. I said my mate Peg will go to local ones here. He's into like climbs and stuff like that. We did Acid Lane locally around Wrexham. It's usually for me Manchester and Liverpool. Liverpool's about an hour, and Manchester about an hour, hour and a half. Trains and stuff. I think last year I did go to Liverpool to see Fish from Marillion. Well, was in Marillion originally. I went by myself because no fucker likes him. So I did go by myself on the train. And I discovered that when you're on the train, it was Saturday night and there was loads of pissed people on the train, all with their suits and ties on and all that sort of stuff. I just had some black metal on. I was listening to a band called Paysage de Hiver. I don't know if you're aware of them. Yeah. Very atmospheric, like Forest type shit and all that sort of thing. And then they blast. I was just looking out the window with my fucking hood up and my earphones on and just away. It was great. So black metal's really good if you're on the train by yourself. Just look out the window and just fucking zone out. It's really good. But it's not as good locally for gigs, but there are some small ones. And weirdly, I said the town I live in is Wrexham, and because Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and what's his face have bought the football club. They're actually this summer the Kings of Leon are playing in my hometown at the football ground. So as a family, we're all going. The kids like them, Mrs. likes them. She's not into extreme metal anymore. She had to back in the day. There was one point back in the late 80s, early 90s that she's seen Carcass more times than she's seen her favourite band, The Mission, because she's into the goth stuff. And, you know, all the bands were playing Wrexham, as Mark G with the Sea can tell you. All the earache bands played our local like memorial hall. So you had the old biddies in one point drinking their pints of mild and that. And then you had all the extreme bands. Entomb came over, Bolt Thrower were playing, all that sort of stuff. So we had all the big bands that were on earache were playing in Wrexham. And we've had some other stuff playing, Napalm Death and all that. And then that beer, so I'm on Jack Daniel's Honey. Thought it might be quite good for me, but I'm not convinced. So yeah, there are some local shows that I can go to, but usually it's Manchester and Liverpool. I'm doing a meet-up with some of the VC guys, but I'll go by myself and meet them in the I think it's the Starling Garden in Manchester, which is just by the station. So I know it's I think Andy and Claudia Milder and I think Scott is going to pop down from Scotland to go and see Seven Sisters and Eliminator and Light City. So that's in Manchester. I think some of the Metal Mickey and Mark G and all that, and I think Sean Beast and there's quite a pile of us are going to meet up for that one. So that should be cool. But yeah, so for me, I'll either drive to the station in Chester and then get the train. There's just a single train there and back. And the same with Liverpool, really. So exactly. So yeah, I've gone to gigs by myself, but it's always cool if you can go with a mate, especially if they drive, so I can have a beer. But it's one of them, innit? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's me in gigs. I've got a stack coming up because I obviously couldn't go for any for a while. We had COVID, and then obviously with me fucking throat and that, I haven't been going to many. So I've had sort of 3 or 4 months of not doing anything. So I'm getting back into it now.
Fair enough. Great. Cody?
Yeah, so for me, as an American, I guess things are a little different. We don't have really public transit like you guys have in the UK. We don't really spend money on infrastructure, so to speak. So anytime I'm going to a gig, I'm usually driving at least an hour and a half, 2 hours to wherever I'm going. Right now in the area I'm at, I'm in between a bunch of big cities. Well, I say big, but they're big for Florida standards. But yeah, it's about a two-hour drive to all the cities that shows happen at. And then, of course, when you get there, you got to buy a few drinks, which I normally do. Have 2 or 3 drinks. get some liquid courage to hop in the pit or whatever. And then typically if it's a band I really enjoy or a band that I already know, I'll buy some merch. So that just adds on to the price. And then, if I'm staying in a hotel that night, if I had too much to drink, or if I'm driving home, I'm going to pay for gas for that. So it really adds up. And I don't know how the tickets are for you guys over there, but typically they're around $30 here, but they add so many fees to them on ours. It's crazy the amount of money that you spend on tickets to shows with these fees. I don't know how it works for you guys, but we have a ton of fees. Don't I have my private jet? Yes, I do, but it's in the shop at the moment. But typically I go by myself. If I have some buddies around that are into this, because a lot of people I hang out with don't really like metal music. So I'm usually by myself. So yeah, it usually ends up being about $100 every time I go to a show, typically. The Ticketmaster grift, yes. It is a grift. It's a ripoff.
Yeah, they put like extra fees on just to put extra fees on, I swear.
Yeah. Here's a fee for your fee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Batwing, thank you. Oh, Pieface bringing up Trump. He's trying to get us started. Trump borrowing it, you won't get it back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, has anyone got anything else to add? I mean, I don't think I've got anything.
Before we go, Josh, one of the things we were going to say is what have we all been listening to? I know we did the single thing, but is there any albums that you just want to give a shout out before we go that you think people need to listen to? Or yeah, Cody's got a few.
Yeah.
I've got some down here. You got any, Marty? I'm sure you're most of the eight to bloody Z or whatever they're called. I don't mind.
No, I was just looking at stuff that I'm listening to at the moment. It's just the new Hell Ripper, and the new Memoriam album's pretty good.
Yes, yeah.
It's definitely worth a spin. I don't know where I'd put it in the 5-album ranking, whatever, but decent album. It's very good. Great band. Trying to think what else I'm listening to. As in new stuff, there's not a lot of new out, is there?
No.
I listen to a lot of Haunt. You understand why if you've seen the VCLT from Adrian. But I'm also listening. I haven't had these in years. I got these in the VCLT as well. Nuclear Assault, 2 albums, great stuff. Haven't heard that in years. So
this is good.
I get that. Pest Control.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that. Where did I see that? Somebody showed that.
Did you show that, John?
I put it on my socials because I was listening to it. They supported Enforced. So they're crossover thrash from the UK. Very good. That's the band, female singer. They did a cover of Suicidal Tendencies cover, Subliminal, which isn't easy for me to say, which was fucking awesome. Really, really good. Proper crossover. Tell you what, coming today, Cody. Which you can tell me if it's any good because I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, Wayfarer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I heard a lot of people saying good stuff about it, so it came today. So I'm hoping it's good.
Very atmospheric.
Yeah. Well, I like stuff like Panopticon and all that sort of thing. So
right. Yeah, that's right up that alley for sure.
And the Chatchwin alley. They're also on By Moon, aren't they? The Chatchwin. Perverse. Don't know them, matey. Sorry, pie face. No.
This is a new one from me. Carpathian Forest. First album.
Oh yeah.
Fucking savage stuff. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then Cody's Anthony from the Metal Miners, Cody's dad man put me on to Christian. So I bought the first 3 Christian albums because they're cheap as chips at the moment for some strange reason. And
South American, right? They're from
yeah,
South
the
America.
South American band. Very good. And he also put me onto that new album there today. He had up Ferrum, Italian Death Doom.
Right.
So I bought that this morning after his video. I see he was slagging you earlier on, Cody, about getting us to spend money, but he's fucking worse, he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to that album. It looks good, Johnny Mac. Did you see the video? Ferrum. Anthony's latest video.
I haven't seen Anthony's latest one yet. I'll
check it out, man. It's good.
Later.
So, looking forward to that album. Josh, you got loads of new stuff. What are you liking?
Yeah, I mean, recently I've been getting through all the crazy VTLT I've received over the last
Dave's just commented on Cavernous Carnage, the new Venomous concept that came through today as well, but I've not listened to it yet. It's Shane Embury from They Found Death, another of his side projects. So yeah, Venomous concept. And I've also had this through today. I had 3 albums today. The New Enslaved.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
But I don't know what it's like yet. As I said, these 3 came in today, so I've not had a chance to listen to them. So it should be a good weekend.
Simon. Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Oh, he's obviously seen the cover then.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah. So yeah, I've pretty much been getting through all them VCLTs that I've received recently. I've actually got a pile behind my some of these ones that Simon sent me. That Anterior. Oops. There we go. That I just listened to that not so long ago, and I really, really enjoyed that. It's kind of like a mix between Bullet for My Valentine and some Trivium, which I really, really liked. And then I've got this one. Well, I showed these not so long ago when Simon sent me this. This one, Archaea. This features a couple of members from Fear Factory. Very technical, like precise, metalcore-y sound, but really, really good actually. I really, really enjoyed this album. It's got a lot of groove to it. And then I've got all the As I Lay Dyings here, but my favourite out of the lot was this one, Shadows of Security. That was brilliant. I absolutely love that one. That was fantastic. That album. So yeah, on top of that, I've also been listening to Dark Funeral, as I said earlier, and a couple of other bits and bobs here and there. Obviously the singles as well for the for this stream. So yeah, pretty much it.
I listened to that yesterday. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of that band.
It's an indie band, right?
Yeah, that's it. Just a few people have been showing it off because it's like, I don't know, 1 million years old or something yesterday. So I thought I'd dig it out and have a listen. Solid, still very solid. Fair play.
Yeah, good album. Cody, have you got some stuff? I think Cody's gonna get some stuff.
Yeah, this is what I was just listening to before. A little Tomb Mold action.
Oh, nice.
Planetary Clairvoyance. But I'll show you what I got. This is probably going to be in an update video here pretty soon, maybe tomorrow. I got a bunch of stuff still to show, but got some Cancer.
Oh, I got that one. Yellow vinyl. I got that in yellow vinyl.
Vinyl, yeah. I have it too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got that one.
This was actually a birthday gift from my dad. Martin G with a C beat me on it, but how about that?
Oh,
Nice.
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 Yeah,
2014 reissue on white vinyl.
Nice.
X, yes.
That's cool.
The Hell's Headbanger Nile release. I believe this is an EP. Comes on this really great looking vinyl here. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but it's like a marbly green. It's really cool looking. Here's a little Viking metal, Falkenbach. Magni, Blandon, OK, McGinty. This is really good. I've been bumping this a lot recently. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce this name, but the album title is Pahu Kaua. This is Hawaiian black metal.
What?
Really good stuff. It's a little punky. But yeah, got this from
New one on me. I like the sound of that, mate.
Yeah, this is really good here. It's a Goto Warex release, so always top quality with them. But that's basically what I've been kind of listening to.
This
recently.
is that one I was on about that I've just had in the week with the drummer that's immense.
Is that Exercise and Futility? Let's see.
Mate, yeah. What a
Okay,
banger.
yeah. My dad's really big into Mwa or Magua. I'm not quite sure how to say it.
That's could work it out. Also,
Mogwai.
Oh, yeah.
the issue of Demigod took me ages to come through. This is the green vinyl one.
Must
But I
have.
sat down and listened to it about 5 or 6 times over while I was reading the booklet that comes in it, saying about the Finnish black metal. Fucking brilliant. And this one,
I'm not familiar with that.
it's Profound Law with Gnosis, I think it's called. Oh, sorry, Spectral Law, not Profound Law, the record label. Spectral Law with Gnosis. Very atmospheric black metal.
Okay.
But there's lots of it's I think, who was it? I think it was Liam. Yeah, this is number 73 out of 75. It's I probably can't say, it's too dark in this room.
Wow, that's limited.
Yeah.
Limited.
It's a coloured vinyl one anyway, but I cost not quite an arm and a leg, probably just an arm, but it wasn't cheap, but I like the cover anyway. Just out of interest. Yeah, it's double vinyl and it's look at that. You can see it's purpley sort of.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
And it's weird in that the fourth side it's got nothing on it. Literally, there's no grooves. It's flat. There's only a 3-sided thing, but instead of putting an etching, they've still got the weird colour, but no label, and it's smooth.
That's cool.
There you go.
Cool.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so Spectral Law. Check them out, Cody. You might like them, buddy.
There's
I'll
a
give 'em
few
a look.
Doom ones I picked up as well. Dead Witches, really getting into the Dead Witches, kind of a fucking psychedelic Doom, sludgy stuff. So this is part of that. Heavy Psych Sounds Records released this Doom series. So let's see that Doom 666. I don't know many in the series, but I bought a few of them, and they're coming. Also picked up, seeing as I got all the Haunt albums last week, I picked up one of Trevor William Church's Doom albums, Beastmaker. I don't know if you should check them out. Pretty good too. And another Hooded Menace album for the collection. And it's called something. Can't pronounce it.
Yeah, I got that one on CD. Great album.
Hooded Menace, fucking awesome. Yeah, Dead Witches, Mark Greenberg, brilliant electric wizard drummer. But that's a really fucking nice Hooded Menace album. Fucking classic stuff. Brilliant band. So that's basically all the new shit that I'm sitting around, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I want to say, where is it, Simon? Cheers. I appreciate the VCLT. I really appreciate it. And also, where was it, Rick? Up here. Yeah, on Thursday I did a live stream with Rachel's Ghost. She wanted me to join one of her streams at some point, so that pushed me up to I'm on 290 now. So I did put it in a post for the March update. That's it. Yeah. So for my March update, I did say that when I get to 300 subscribers, I'll do a Q&A. So yeah, I'll definitely do that if you know, as soon as I get there. So hopefully, won't be too long now. But yeah, okay. So I think we've pretty much done everything for this episode. We've got through everything. I think, you know, if you're all happy to leave it here, I think we'll leave it here. It's pretty much, you know, everything we talked about. So yeah, Rachel's Ghost stream. Yeah. I really enjoyed being on it because you know, she asked me a lot of questions about metal music, which she's starting to get into a lot.
That one there, Simon.
Pretty cool. And also, she played one of my videos on the stream. She played my Rush cover, which was pretty awesome.
Well, by the way, I forgot to say, before you go, look what I had today.
Oh, it arrived.
Turned up today.
That's fantastic.
We're talking number 20.
Yeah,
that one.
There's still 20 available. That's excellent. I'm glad that comment.
Yeah, came today, so thanks, matey.
You're welcome.
Number 2. I wasn't good enough for number 1, but I got number 2.
I always thought you were the number 2, mate.
That's awesome. That's brilliant. Cheers, I really appreciate that. And yeah, there's half of them left now, so that's great. But so yeah, so we're gonna leave it here for this stream, this first episode. Yeah, I hope everyone who's watched, you know, if you've watched it live or you've watched it after the fact, I really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, hopefully you want to see another one of these because you know, we've got a lot of ideas for future episodes. I'm not sure how frequent these are going to be. Maybe we'll try and do one once a month. You know, maybe once every 2 months or so. We'll see how it goes. Really, you know, we'll try to get arrangements and, you know, see what we can do. And yeah, Pie Face. He reserved the first one, so Simon's got the first one.
Dick.
But yeah, yeah. So yeah, okay. So we'll leave this here, and yeah, thanks ever so much everyone for watching, and yeah, till next time, keep it metal.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Good luck. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Oops.